All right, if everybody's ready, we'll just go ahead and open it up for questions for Coach Kelsey.
Okay. Do you have a update on Kasean Pryor? I'm sorry.
On who?
Kasean Pryor.
Kasean Pryor.
Oh, Case. Did the
Yeah.
statement go out?
Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody has the statement?
Yeah.
That's the update.
You missed it.
Coach, what is the status of the other two fellows that have been injured, Johnson and Traore?
Kadir fractured his arm, so he's in a cast, and it's. But we're hoping, probably 6 weeks total. Probably he's a couple weeks out from the injury, so we're hoping in the next month or so he'll be cleared to play.
And Johnson?
Yeah, so Corin's shoulder, he's had it examined by some doctors. He's going to see one more specialist later this week, and we'll have a better idea on his status moving forward after that.
How do you plan on making up for, the two guys that are at least gonna come back eventually, maybe, going forward?
I'm sorry, ask that again. I'm sorry.
Just how do you plan on attacking this, making up for the losses?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the midst of kind of figuring that out right now. Obviously, what we had feared about Kasean came to fruition, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast, and that's sports, that's life, and it changes the complexion of our team. And obviously, having a couple other guys out like Kadir and Corin and now Kasean, it's some things that we have to adjust to quickly, because we have a very, very good, physical, tough, well-coached team in Ole Miss coming in tomorrow. So, that's one of the great things about sports and adversity. It's a microcosm for life, and our guys have an unbelievable mindset as we attack these 2 days. Coming off, 3 really tough games down in the Bahamas. So, a big part of the last 24, 48 hours is, having our guys just, freshen their minds and bodies and recover physically, and at the same time, pour ourselves into preparation for the Ole Miss game. So, we have a next man up mentality, and that's not just, let's use, Frank and Kanai as an example, who haven't played as many minutes. Obviously, they're going to have to step up, but it's all the way down our roster, right? Everybody's going to have that next man up, step up mentality in terms of changing their role to a certain extent, increasing the role to a certain extent. But I believe so much in the guys in that locker room, the competitive character of the guys in that locker room, and their mindset as we attack this new phase of our season, down a couple guys. I know we'll respond the right way, and I'm excited about seeing us compete tomorrow at 9 o'clock?
Yep.
9 o'clock.
Coach, just besides what Kasean does on the court and the stat sheet, just losing a guy like that who's always good for a momentum turn, great locker room presence, just how much of a blow is that?
Yeah, I mean, we won't lose that. Kasean's going to continue to make an impact on this team, even though he's not on the floor. The things that you just mentioned, his locker room presence, his energy, his personality, is infectious, and he's a terrific leader on our team. So we expect him to contribute in that regard moving forward. Obviously, it wasn't in the cards, no pun intended, for him to finish the season on the floor helping us, but he'll continue to have an impact off the season, or off the floor, I should say.
Pat, can you kind of speak to what's he like? He's an emotional guy, and he came here for a reason and for a purpose. How did he kind of take the news, and what's it like?
It's tough. It's tough. Anybody in that situation, any of us that would be in that situation, obviously it's very disappointing. So, we talk about the power of the unit all the time, and all of us rallying around him to pick him up in this tough time. But He's a high character kid with a very, very, very bright future. He's going to make an absolute 100% full recovery and be bigger, better, and badder than ever. And it's just dealing with this dip in the radar for him, overcoming this adversity. It'll be a normal rehab. That it's fact of the matter is, in today's day and age, you tear your ACL. It seems like more often than not, if not every time, you come back better. It's not one of those things that 15, 20, 25 years ago, it's like, man, you tear your ACL. It's like, oh, it affects the rest of your career. The way these surgeries are now and the recoveries are now, he'll be better than ever. Excited about his future.
Pat, in case the prognosis for either Kadir or Johnson is a little bit more extended than you would like, or God forbid there's more injuries that pop up, do you envision a situation in which you could possibly see either Ali Khalifa or Kobe Rogers play down
Yeah,
the
we
stretch?
haven't even had those discussions because their recovery is, their expected full recovery is well down the line. So that hasn't even been a topic of conversation in any way, shape, or form.
What have you seen out of Ole Miss when you watched the films on them?
Yeah, I mean, they're very, very good. I said it, at the beginning of the press conference, they're extremely well coached, they're tough, they're physical, they're skilled, they're, a top 25 caliber team, if not better. Terrific coach. You can see when you watch them play, the culture of toughness that they have and the way that they compete. We pride ourselves on those same things as well. So we're excited about the opportunity to compete against them tomorrow.
Coach, one more, excuse me, one more question about the roster situation. In this day and age, is it possible to consider bringing someone in between semesters with the portal and all of that?
Yeah, nothing is ever impossible. Every single option that would possibly be an option is an option and on the table all the time. But what that looks like, who knows?
Coach, Ole Miss, being coached by Chris Beard, always a defensive-minded team, added a lot of new staff members like Mark Adams to kind of add to what that defense brings to the table. What do you see out of just how they kind of stun offenses?
Yeah, I mean, you look at their analytics and their statistics, they're similar to us in that, they have a very high turnover rate defensively, and that's just because of the pressure that they apply and the toughness and tenacity with which they play with. Coach Beard's teams have always been that way, and this one is no different. You have to be able to execute and play with great poise because of the ferocity with which they play and they rotate and they deflect. So we're going to have to play with great poise.
Pat, you didn't win the championship, but when you look back at last week in the big picture, and I know you're moving ahead already, but it was a big step for the program, I think, to get some of that momentum back. Did you feel that way now that looking back at it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me, and we always have these conversations that I really compartmentalize every single thing we do, and every game that we play and every preparation we have is the most important in the history of the program. So, we didn't go down there thinking, hey, we're playing 3 games. It was about our sole focus was on beating Indiana, celebrating in the locker room for about 4.5 minutes, and then turning the page, playing the next one. And in those really short turnarounds, in the chaos of the Atlantis, and a million people walking around, and you're walking through herds of people to get to the next walkthrough or meal room, and it's just it's chaos. And just that our guys were able to keep their focus and address all their attention to the next task at hand was something that I would expect out of an older veteran team like we have. And even as the hype after the first game was kind of building, our guys put blinders on and just focus on the next thing. And then the hype got a little bit higher after we won the second game. Our guys kept blinders on. Kasean goes down really early in the first half. Our guys kept blinders on and just kept focusing one possession at a time, one 4-minute segment at a time. And it put us in a position, to have a chance to win a championship down at the end of the game. And, as we move to this next chapter and our team adjusts and morphs to the new structure of our roster based on injuries and things like that, we'll have the same exact thinking approach and did yesterday in preparation. We'll do the same thing today. That's up to you guys to write about the ebbs and flows and the emotions of the momentum, I think is the word, Jody, that you used. And you guys are awesome at what you do, and you'll write all those stories. We'll continue to just put blinders on and focus on the next thing.
Throughout the event down at the Bahamas, you could see guys in their veteran experience step up. A guy that really kind of seemed to jump out was Javon Hadley and how he continued to bang down low. Can you just talk about his impact down in the paint against guys that...
His impact's more than just down in the paint. His impact is in every single facet of our program. Joy to coach, mature, all the things we describe about our team are kind of exemplified within Javon. He's a jack of all trades in terms of like you could plug him in almost any stinking position on the court in any situation and any sit play, and somehow, some way he'll know what to do. Just that Swiss Army knife, if you will. But then his makeup, man. He has such a seriousness of purpose. He's tough as nails. He competes like nobody's business, and he's just a winning player and a lot of fun to coach.
You've obviously were a big believer in Chucky and brought him here. What did he show you even more in the Bahamas than you thought he had?
Well, more than I thought he had. I thought he had everything. Like, I thought he was one of the best point guards in the country, and obviously I think he proved to the rest of the world that he should be in that conversation. Chucky thrives under the brightest lights. Obviously he was well aware of the stage that the battle for Atlantis is in the early part of college basketball season. He understood that a lot of eyes were going to be on that tournament. He took it personal as an opportunity to prove himself, and we all saw what he did. He was terrific throughout the course of those 3 games.
Are you guys going to explore the possibility of maybe getting an injury waiver or red shirt for Kasean?
Yeah, I mean, so the way those work is you can't even file those. You can't even start that process until the season is over. The NCAA, they don't even accept those or consider them till the end of the season. So those are things that would be considered after the season.
Pat, this week you play 2 huge games. Jeff, the women have a game. The volleyball's in town. Football coming off that victory in the momentum that you guys kind of had up from the Bahamas. Can you just speak to?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it speaks to, and I know I use this word a lot, but I believe in it so much, the pursuit of excellence. And you see what Danny has done and built with Louisville volleyball, and they have a huge one this week, and we need the city to step up and be a major factor there. I mean, you look at Coach Brom, and gosh darn, like just talking about Danny, I could say the same thing about Jeff. Like, you talk about a really, really, really tough loss that they experienced out at Stanford, and you talk about the competitive character of a coach and of a program to turn the tables, to respond from that. I don't even know if everybody knows what the heck happened with their travel on the way back from Stanford. It was an absolute mess. Crazy. I mean, it was like they're on the charter, they're ready to take off, and the co-pilot starts throwing up. So he was unfit to fly, so he had to get 120 people off the plane, get a million hotel rooms. They don't take off till the next day at 3:30. They don't get back till midnight on Monday. I don't know what the crap it was, or Sunday night. You talk about demoralizing loss and then all of that crap, and then they come back and prepare and then just smack Pitt in the face and just played their butts off, and then they respond in a huge rivalry game and do the same exact thing. The caliber of coaches in our organization is unbelievable, and all of those teams are worthy of the passion and fervor that this fan base has. So let's really, really support them this week. They support me. I know one thing, like I get big wins in the Bahamas, and you know, those guys are the first ones that reach out to me and congratulate me. So I'm so lucky to be a part of this fraternity here amongst the coaching staff and coaches and administration we have at the University of Louisville.
After the games, and you kind of spoke to it just like, a bit earlier, when you have, 3 games as many days, you're trying to get the guys rested. Does that change anything that you do in practice in terms of, yesterday and that today, just trying to make sure that, that they're as fresh as they can
Yeah,
be?
there's no question. You got to have,
So-
first of all, we have Kate Kresnick, who's our, I don't talk about her enough, but our trainer is phenomenal. I brought her from Charleston with me because I think she's the best in the country. Eli Foy, who's our director of sports performance and strength and conditioning. You guys have wrote many articles on him, and you know how I feel about him. I think he's the best in the country. And, I just trust them implicitly, and obviously as a coach, it's important every day to take inventory, the state of your team, mentally and physically, and do the proper things that you think are right to get them to the jump circle on Tuesday, ready to go. And you look at, we're all in this situation. Ole Miss, I think they played the same thing. I think they played 2 games, and so they have the same kind of short recovery as well. And so it's not any different with us, but it's important that that we're excellent in our process of preparation for those guys. But we came out of that thing pretty banged up. No excuses, no explanations. I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for us, because I told the guys yesterday, outside your circle and there's people close to you. Coach Prosser used to say half the world could care less about your problems and the other half are glad you have them. So we're not asking anybody to think and feel sorry for us, but we'll have 2 great days of preparation, and like I said, we're excited about the opportunity to compete tomorrow night.
Building off of that question, how important are people like Kate Kresnick and Eli Foy when you go into playing 3 games in 3 days, and just have a truncated schedule of games overall?
Yeah. I mean, they're elite at what they do, and I'm lucky to have them on our staff, and they do a great job of taking care of our guys and getting their minds and bodies ready to compete.
Coach, the 3-point shooting has not appeared to have been quite as effective percentage-wise as we might have thought based on previous performances and stuff. Do you have a theory about that, why that is?
Yeah, we played pretty well, didn't we? Played pretty well. I mean, we put ourselves in a position to win a championship. I just believe in our guys. I believe in the back of the bubblegum card, and we're generating big advantage shots and rhythm shots. I sleep like a baby and smile and don't blink a stinking eye. If we're working to generate those shots and they don't fall, it's a make or miss game sometimes. So, yeah.
New net rankings dropped today, put you guys in the top 30. How often do you pay attention to
None.
those?
I don't pay attention at all. I don't. I mean, I hear about it because people tell me and things like that, but results take care of themselves if you're laser focused on the process. And if that means we played really well over the last 3 days and they put us number 1 in the country, great. But it doesn't matter. It's all about the next one you play.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, you kind of talked about at the end of that game on Friday, you mentioned that the guys are crushed, to have that loss. Do you feel like, how have you seen them kind of take what happened in that game and kind of try to build off it?
Build off
heading into
everything.
Tuesday night.
We have an opportunity every time we compete, whether it's against a non-1 team in the preseason, to review those games and look at what we did well and show those guys that so we can build on that, and then look at the things that we didn't do well and work hard to fix those things. So, yes, every single game we come out of is an opportunity to get better, and we'll use the things we did well to build on, things we didn't do well to clean up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you.
Good luck.